Hey, Remprex. Nice to see you this evening. It is a Wednesday evening here, and we are doing a workout. So if you were in yoga yesterday, I had mentioned that we're doing a workout, and I may have misspoke. We're actually doing a body weight training session today. So today, let's focus on lower body and a bit of cardio. So we're going to do not a circuit. Every second week, we do a time circuit, 45 seconds of effort, followed by 10 seconds of um, time to change exercises. And that's how we do our circuits. We go through twice, two different circuits, and that happens every second week. So we did that last week. I went back and I checked. And today we're doing a body weight class. So, like I said, we'll do it at a base that is mostly in lower body and cardio. In general, when you don't have any equipment, when you have a no equipment or just a body weight kind of circuit, anytime you do a lower body kind of focused program, it's going to be a very, you're going to be making big shapes, like big movements, lunges, squats. Those types of movements are very lower body focused, especially if you have no gym equipment. And then the cardio kind of stuff that we're going to be doing is nothing crazy. Nothing of high impact. If you have soreness in your knees or your low back, I'll show you how to modify some things. But cardio is really good to just intersperse in. It gives you, it's great for your sleep, great for your mood, great for your digestion. And so we're going to go through a couple of things like jumping jacks and some frog jumps and so on and so forth. So we will get that started in a moment. Let's just talk about what we want to pay attention to, which is most importantly, because I can't see you, you're in charge of your movements, meaning take into consideration what you ate today, how you slept last night, any kind of things that you have on your radar about your own body, like knees or hips or back or neck or wrists or any of the stuff that you already know is not so great with your body. You want to be aware of that so that you can mindfully move during the exercises and then maybe regress them, like take them down a notch or two, or progress them if you want, and make it more challenging on yourself. If you have any questions about any of the movements that we are doing together, by all means, ask me a question. You can write me a message on Pointagram or ask me through email. Both I very much appreciate, and it's nice if you do it on Pointagram because everyone else sees the interaction and sees your question, and everyone benefits from that. But if you're more comfortable with email, you can do that too. Water. I don't have any water with me, although you can see a very large water jug over here. I'm in my room that I'm not usually in. I was here yesterday, but other than that, you see me in the same place since we started these videos. And so I'm in a new environment. I'm on the other side of the country. I'm on the East Coast, which is why you see a whole new layout, whole new setup. But yeah, I'll leave some time for water break. I'll leave a little bit of space, and I think we'll kick it off from there. I'm wearing no shoes. You can wear shoes. It's probably more comfortable to wear shoes if you have anything going on with your ankles or your feet, because when you do lunges, it does create a pretty significant extension in the toe, big toe in particular, but all the toes. And sometimes that doesn't feel so nice if you're bare feet and you have foot stuff going on already. All right. I think that's all I wanted to share. We do a warm up as always, followed by about 20 minutes of activity, followed by a 5-minute cool down, which is mostly just 1 or 2 held stretches. And then we call it a night. It's really nice to get into the habit of doing strength training around this time. It's best if you avoid strength or like exertive cardio hit like programs. You don't want to do them too late into the night. Like you don't want to be doing them at 8 or 9 o'clock at night because that's the wind down time. So here we are in a perfect time to be doing this type of exercise. So let's take advantage of that since you've made all the effort to be here. So warm up first. The best way to warm up, especially if you're doing lower body and cardio-like things, is to make the biggest shapes that you can, meaning like get as many joints involved as possible. That's going to create an increase in temperature and circulation and get everything moving and going as quick as you can. So you don't have to spend too much time on your warm up and then less time in your actual exercise kind of program. Okay, so let's, like I said, warm up. I'm going to probably move things around slightly. Don't mind me just trying to kind of make sure that you can see the best possible. I apologize for wiggling things around. I know it's like not the best as a viewer to see all this wibbly wobbly, but just new environment and new shapes over here. Okay. All right. Okay, that's not super helpful. Can't really see me at all. Again, apologies. Let's get this real good. All right, I'll just make do with that. If you don't see the top of my head, I'm not going to be upset about it. Okay. Let's work with that. Sorry, I'm so small. Okay. Here we go. Make big shapes. Before we even start making some big old shapes, just kind of land on your mat. I'm just going to try to be in the center of the shot always, but you can also be in the center of your mat or in the center of your space so you have a lot of room to make these large shapes that I'm talking about. Let's start with the biggest joint that we have in our body. Biggest ball and socket joint, our hip joint. Let's make some circles, 3 in each direction. Lean into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. Circles as big as you can. So it's really like you're tracing the circle out with your knee. 3 circles in one direction. Switch it up. 3 in the other. Again, the bigger you make them, the more stuff's involved. Your low back's involved. Your knees obviously involved. Your pelvis. Excuse me, switch sides, pick up the left leg, exact same thing, as big as you can make them. All right, good. Feet back underneath you, in line with your hips. Let's just make some arm circles. Let's just get in circle world for a second. Trace big circles out. Let's do 5 in each direction with the arms. And then 5 in the other direction. As big as you can. Get the shoulder blades involved, the spine involved. Good. And what we're going to do just for our warm up here is we're going to just do some side lunges. It's a nice way to get some bending and some like activation into these larger muscles that we're going to call on during our exercise kind of routine here. So you're going to take a pretty wide stance, big enough so that you can lean into one side, trying to get, let's see if I can get a good angle here, trying to get your one hip in line with your knee and your foot. And then you're going to come over and just mimic that on the other side. So hip, knee, foot. Okay. So you're just coming across and then across. Let your arms do whatever. If you need them out in front of you, just to kind of brace and balance, do that. What I don't want you to do is when you're doing this, try not to like, you see how this looks like just here moving? And you're kind of like cheating yourself out of these proper leg movements. Bend your knees, sit your butt down on a chair, get all that type of movement in and be as straight up and down as you can with your spine while maintaining your balance. Again, this is a cardio / lower body kind of focus. Here comes the very famous helper, Jaffe. He's going to come and do some lower body leg exercises, pump it up with us. Or he's just patrolling, making sure we're all doing the right thing. No bad alignment in our exercise routine here. Okay. Sorry. So we did the hips, we got the legs going, we got the arms, shoulders. Let's do just the spine. Let's do some cat-cow like exercises. So for the cat-cow, we're going to do a standing cat-cow. How do we do that best? We do it with our arms. So I do this one pretty often with you guys because it's super easy and easy. Super awesome and easy to feel in your body. Palms are open. Spread your fingers apart. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift up in the chest and extend your spine. So your spine's making like a curved shape. Okay, so this is a moment in cat-cow when you're like this and you're kind of looking up. We don't necessarily need to bring the head involved. Other position, interlock your fingers, straighten your elbows, flex and round your spine. This is the other, like, they call it cat position in cat-cow. Okay, let's do that 2 more times to make it 3. Making sure you're breathing nice and smooth. Try not to get yourself like super worked up in your breathing. Try to keep it smooth, mellow, calm. All right, that will take us into our workout, our warm up. Let's go into our workout. So lower body focus and cardio focus. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do 10 reps of backwards lunges, followed by a little bit of jumping. So we're gonna do jumping jacks. I'll show you modification if you wanna change that up. And then we're gonna just pause there. And then we're gonna add in the third exercise. But like I said, with this, we're not racing. When we're doing our circuits, we're kind of like really intense and focused, and maybe we like let go of our quality of movement a little bit. I want us to ramp up quality movement, not focus so much on quantity. Okay, so backwards lunge, 2 feet underneath the hips as we often do. One leg, 10 reps at a time. So I'm gonna take my right leg, step it back, and I'm gonna go down into a low squat where I have one knee at 90, one knee at 90, straight up in my spine. Push off my back leg to come back up. Do another. So 10 on each side. You can go at the pace that you'd like. If you want to focus on your balance, maybe you want to go a bit slower. If you want to just pump it out, you can go a little bit faster. Don't, like I said, don't neglect the quality movement just for intensity. It's not worth it. My hands are just kind of coming up in front of me just to balance and just get a nice kind of pendulum momentum feeling in my body. Do one more here, and then we'll do it on the other side. All the same rules apply, just left leg back now. It's nice to find like your little sweet spot. So I kind of measure where my foot should go. Once I feel like I got 90-ish in both sides, I try to repeat that. And I get in a little bit of a groove. Being just okay that you're gonna have one bad side or one side that's not so good. Being cool with that. This is my bad side, not so good side, whatever you wanna call it. All right, I'm gonna do 2 more here. So like I said, with lower body movements, you can already feel that increase of intensity, energy, warmth, circulation. You can get quite warm quite quickly. So that's one of the positives of like focusing your attention on big movements, making big shapes, using multiple joints, or doing leg stuff. Usually body weight leg stuff means making big shapes. Okay, here we go into some jumping jacks. Okay, so we don't need to count them. Don't need to get crazy here. I'm going to show you a few modifications though. If you just do the good old jumping jack that we all know and love, go for it. You can also do, if you have knee stuff, back stuff, don't want to jump stuff, what you can do is more of like a jiu-jitsu style movement. I learned it from jiu-jitsu, where you just drop and you can come back up. Okay, so I did not push off and like land. I just got some space between my feet as quick as possible, and then I come back up. Okay, and if you feel like you're here and the up is too intense, when you get into this position, you can just go one at a time. Okay, whatever version of that you want to do, and obviously so you can get the legs and arms involved. Okay, so let's do, we won't do it for time, let's just do 30 of them, call it done. We won't come back to jumping jacks, just get a little bit of cardio in there to get some intensity and some movement quickly so we can benefit from that when we do our wind down and we do some stretching. All right, here we go for 30. Make sure my ears are all in. Got these cords on my shirt hitting me all over the face. Hopefully you've dressed smarter than I. I'm halfway. 10 more. Now, just for fun, we get to our 10th one. You're going to stop and freeze and stay low into a squat. Okay, low, deep squat, legs are spread far apart, get low. Okay, we're going to stay here about 30 or so seconds. Smooth your breath out. You can have your arms on your sides, anywhere, or just relax them. Try not to have any tension through your arms. Another thing I'd like you to focus on is just the feeling of muscle burning. Be cool with it. And then if you feel like it's getting to be too much, a little helpful trick is just staying low, but moving from side to side. It's a little sneaky trick. Okay, let's do 10 more seconds here. All right, and slowly drive up through both legs to stand tall. Feet can come back underneath you and have a water break. Let's see if this lighting is useful. I guess that looks a little bit better. All right, so water break at your leisure. You can have some water if you need it. I don't have any water. What you want to definitely make sure when you're just taking this time, hydrate if wanted, but always smooth your breath out. Trying to control the breathing in a way that's not shallow and labored in your chest, but very deep and low in your abdomen. Making sure that you're breathing in as equally as you're breathing out. All right, you're putting your water away. All right. Let's get my mat out again. As you guys have probably seen before, I've almost slipped many a times doing class with you guys, so I didn't think that this was the day that I wanted to slip, so I just moved my mat. Okay, so we just did, again, legs, cardio. Let's just repeat that sequence. Legs, cardio. So what kind of legs can we do? With this kind of work, body weight stuff, we don't have a ton of options. So we're gonna do some squats. We're gonna do some air squats, followed by some frog leaps. And then we're gonna pause like we just did in the previous kind of routine. And we're gonna do a wall sit. So I have a wall right behind me. Just check around you that you have space to do a wall sit as well. Okay, so what is a wall sit? You're gonna come with your back to the wall, feet out in front of you. You're gonna come down and sit. I feel like we all did this in gym class at one point. And you're gonna sit again for that 30 or so seconds, okay? That's at the end. So first let's do some squats, frog leaps, and then the wall sit. Again, quality, we're not on a race. Taking it easy, feeling strength building, using our body weight. So squatting, I give you a bunch of different varieties because it depends on your body. Some people find it really easy to just have their feet in line with their hips somewhat underneath them and just go into these squats. So I have very poor flexibility in my ankles, ballerina ankles. So watch that when you go into the squat that I've just showed you. Again, you don't just pitch up and pitch down. Look at how much movement my torso has here. There's almost no actual leg movement. It's kind of like a back extension exercise rather than a sit down, drive up. So look at how much my hips are moving and my knees in that versus this. This over time kind of hurts the back. It's not the best kind of mechanics. So we want to go down and then up. So how can we put ourselves in the best possible position to make that happen? Sometimes it means we need to put some space in between our feet and come down like we were kind of just doing in a deep sometimes called sumo-like squat. So from the side, I'm pretty straight up. I come down, I'm pretty straight up. Again, it's not the whole torso kind of moving, which is not the exercise. We want to squat. We want to get quads, hamstrings, and glutes involved in this exercise, okay? So what we'll do is we'll do 20 in one of those variations or something in between that, and then we'll go into our frog leaps, okay? So I'm gonna go a little bit wider. It's more comfortable on my feet, especially my right foot. My right foot's a bit crazy. So toes can be facing forward or like 10 and 2, like if you're driving a car. Here we go into a squat, 20. You can have your arms out just in front of you for balance, but you really want to feel in your squats that both legs are moving, like distributing the weight equally, meaning you're not heavy in one side doing your squats. It's almost like you're doing your squats inside of a tube, or you're straight up and down. Okay. Sorry, I know the video is a little bit blurry right now. Just make some big shapes come back into focus. I'll move it in a second. Sometimes it gets a little discombobulated with exercise. 20 squats. All right, I'm almost done here. I'm gonna do 5 more. You don't need to go necessarily at my pace. Slow it down, speed it up, squeeze some more in there if you want to. All right, wonderful. So here we go into our second exercise, which is going to be our frog leaps. So frog leap is like one of the steps that is going on during a burpee, okay? So at the risk of, again, tripping, I'm gonna move my mat away and I'll show you what a frog jump or leap looks like. So you're gonna start here in like a plank position, okay? You're gonna bend your knees and like look how I'm shifting my weight backwards, and I can go one leg at a time as an easier version, and see how I'm like kind of forward. I want you to sit yourself back like we just practiced in our squats and drive up to stand. And then come down. Okay, that's like the slower version. You could also do the same thing and speed it up. Okay, totally up to you how you choose to do it, okay? If you feel like this makes you dizzy or lightheaded, just be very gentle with yourself and the speed that you go. And the matter, like I said, all class already, the number doesn't necessarily matter. What matters is you're doing a really good quality movement. If you feel like dizzy is just happening and too much, you can just do this part. Frog it, come back. Frog it, come back. Or frog, come back. Frog, come back, okay? And then very slowly and kindly come to stand at the very end, just paying attention to any sense of overwhelm that may happen, okay? So here we go. Let's do 20 of these. I think 30 would be a little bit much, especially on our wrists. So let's do 20 of them. So let's come down into a plank, and you're gonna choose the version that you would like to do, okay? Here we go. Getting really good bounces. And if you're doing the squat to stand, really good deep squat, kind of frog-like shape to stand. Your hands, fingers are spread wide, so you're covering a lot of distance with your hands, like your palms are taking up a lot of space from the heels of your hands to the tips of your fingers. Imagine you're like a gecko. Sorry if my hood is muffling slightly. Maybe not the best outfit. Keep going. Counting your 20 out. All right. I got 5 more. All right. Wow. Once we're done, stand up really slow. Once you've done your 20, and just make sure you don't feel dizzy or lightheaded or nauseous or any of those things, so that, sorry, let me just make sure, there we go, we're back into focus, so that you feel comfortable to sit for a wall sit. Another thing I want you to pay attention to is that you have your breath back. Being down there and doing those squats is a lot of work, as you may have noticed. So smooth your breath out. If you want to have a little sip of water, you can absolutely do that. It's good to be in like a zone of intensity, but we also want to be like mindful of what we're feeling, especially if we're new to exercise and you don't want to go like beast mode and not be very present or aware of what you're doing. So if you're having water, lose the dish of water for now. We're almost done. The wall sit will be our last exercise, and then we'll go into some simple stretching and then call it there. So again, you're going to need a wall. That's all you need. Oh, Jaffe's coming to make sure I got the right wall. Your feet are out pretty wide, pretty far away from the wall, so that when you kind of scoot yourself down, you have a 90-degree-ish angle at the knees, and there's a track from the feet, from the knees to your hips, meaning your knees are not touching and your feet are like, firmly planted on the ground. Hands can just be resting on your thighs. You can squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift and open your chest. And we're gonna be here for 30 seconds. And if you ever do exercise with me, take these classes often, you'll know how much I really dislike all of these kind of static like positions. Really not a fan, but it's nice to have variety in your exercise routine. Nice to work muscles in a way that maybe you haven't in a while. All right, here we go for our last 10 seconds. Breathing smooth. It may feel nice to really flatten your low back into the wall as well. That may feel like very supportive. Dig your heels in. Almost done. Then you can just lean forward, push your hands on the wall, come to stand, and wonderfully done. Okay, let's stretch it out. Stretching it out is the wind down period. I'm gonna get my mat out. If you wanna just pop a quick little water break in there, you totally can. As we just do, let's do 2 stretches because we got a little bit of time. I'll reorient my camera. Hopefully that will help it come back into focus. Ew. Sorry for my fingers. All right. Here we go. Okay, we're back in focus. Oh, no, not quite. Wait for a second. Let's do a stretch that we've been doing somewhat often in our classes recently, because when we're focusing on, when we are doing a stretching kind of program, we don't necessarily want to try to stretch like everything in the body all at once. It's nice to have a little bit of focused intention. So because we just did a lot of lower body stuff, let's keep that in the lower body and stretch the hamstrings. Like I said, we've been doing often enough in our classes recently. So You can move like the fleshy parts of your bum or your hips out of the way so you feel like you're really sitting on your sit bones as straight as you can be up and down. If you're looking at like my body and you're like, Kendra, I can't do that at all, no worries at all. You just bend your knees as much as you need to with a straight-ish spine. Okay? That's the most important thing, that your spine is straight. Your hands go on your thighs. You're just gonna walk yourself down towards something that you can grab. Maybe that's your shins, maybe that's your feet. Whatever it is for you, stay there for a little bit, and you wanna find a place of like comfortable discomfort, meaning it's not crazy. You don't wanna be feeling strain. It's okay, buddy. Take it easy. It's cool down time, man. It's cool down time, buddy. So stretching it out. So my cat's in a bit of a new home, new environment, a little pacey, a little anxious. Needs to look at everything 100 times. Let's stay here for 5 more smooth, deep breaths. This is a really good opportunity to breathe into your low back. Make sure you're slowly working on straightening your knees. Even if you actually don't move a muscle, or you don't even go a millimeter closer, you stay exactly where you are, you're still having the intention of relaxing the tissue and just opening the area, even just with your mind, like giving it a little bit of wiggle room, trying to not to focus on so much like how intense the stretch is, but how much potential there could be, like just softening a little bit. The best thing to do that, if you're like, Kendra, I don't know what you're talking about, the best way to do that is just pay attention to the fact that you're breathing. And that inhales feel like a lengthening kind of an expression moment, and exhales feel like a relaxing moment. All right. Feels so good when you pay attention. Okay, one more. Let's do a stretch for like the hips and low back. It's going to be a cross-legged stretch. So cross-legged meaning like you're a little kid listening to a story. Cross-legged like that. If that feels too crazy, you can put the feet together and the knees apart like a butterfly position that we've done before. I'm going to go cross-legged because I find cross-legged gets more into the glutes and bum area, which is where we were kind of working today. So if you can be cross-legged, that's great. All we're going to do when we're cross-legged in the way that feels most natural to you, is you're going to just lean forward with a straight back. Hands come on the ground in front of you, and you're just going to walk your hands out until you can maybe get on your elbows. You want to have like something grounded, like really leaning into your hands and getting a nice stretch, either in butterfly pose or in the position that I'm in. Try not to like crane your neck. Just look down, keep the back of the neck really long. Weight into your elbows. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhales again, lengthening, opening, stretching. Exhales, relaxing, calm, peace, soften. Feels just nice, calming. Continue that feeling. And again, even if you're not moving an inch or a millimeter or any tiny little micro amount, that doesn't matter. As long as you get that feeling of relaxation, the actual change of shape, like the muscle tissue stretch, will come over time because you've actually relaxed your body and given your body the opportunity to take on your request. It's really hard to do that when you're all tense and stressed out and overwhelmed. So let that part go first, and then the actual muscle tissue, the physiology will change way faster. All right, slowly come up. Now from this point forward, like I say every time, if you have an extra 5 minutes on your hands to stretch, to continue stretching, I highly suggest that. But otherwise, it's been so great to do this class with you. Thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed it. And Sarah has her class tomorrow on Thursday. She's doing a food, as she always does. And then I'll see you next week on Tuesday for some yoga stretching. All right, have a good night.